A massive thank you to all of our sponsors on the Suffolk Non-League show. Without their help and support this year, we would not have been able to have made the improvements that we have done to the show. Other than sponsoring one of our local sides, Grunsborough in the SIL, GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience in fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety and asbestos removal. Starling and Lock, a self-employed electrician since 1989 offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses, an NIC EIC member based in the Stowmarket, Suffolk area. All of the branding that you see on the Suffolk Non-League show comes from these guys at Matchday Marketing. They are a sports marketing and branding company helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots football and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. All of the merchandise that is available with the Suffolk Non-League show has come from these guys at Your Shirts. They offer eye-catching, professional-looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation. They offer a range of printing methods to cover all individual costs. Doesn't matter if it's text, images or anything else that you require to look unique and stand out from the competition. These guys are creating our website and they can do the same for you. Clabber Creative are an agency based in Framlingham, Suffolk, offering fully managed football club websites. They are about giving your club a professional look, feel and ongoing support to maintain the site. Alpha Surveys, providing topographical and measured building surveys throughout East Anglia. If you are in need of quality surveys on any home improvements, contact Alpha Surveys on Instagram. Links for all of these companies will be in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another episode of the Suffolk Non-League show. There are a few glaringly obvious things to discuss before we jump too far into this evening. At the moment, you'll see it's just myself. Adam is currently away on his hollybobs and he is hopeful that he can dial in at some point tonight, but we're not 100% sure whether or not Adam is going to be here. It's just myself. And as you can see from these bad boys here, I am not feeling 100%. I've got a little bit of flu, so if there is any coughing, spluttering, whatever the case may be, I do apologise in advance, but as a result, my eyesight is absolutely shocking at the moment, so I'm having to don on these bad boys that I'd normally have to wear whenever I'm looking at a computer screen. So here we are. So let's get that out of the way already, but I'm glad to see that loads of you are already piling in. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. We've got goals to show you, we've got results to talk about, fixtures to go through, and we've got a little bit of local news to talk about as well, in terms of some breaking news that happened during the week, but we'll get back into that in just a few moments. Before we delve too far into the show, as always, we always talk about this part at the beginning before we get too deep into things. If you are one of those people that is enjoying what we're doing for non-league football at the moment and you want to help support the show, help support the channel and myself, there are a number of ways you can do that. If you're on YouTube right now, there is a $ right next to the comment section. If you want to make a live donation towards the show, you can do so via Super Chat. That would be absolutely amazing if you could do that. Any comment that you put up on the screen there has to be read out. So yeah, put a Super Chat into that if you want to make a contribution. We also have the sidemen. Jesus Christ. You can tell what I've been watching before tonight's show, can't you? The Suffolk Non-League show merchandise. My T-shirt is on its way right now. So hopefully next week's show, you will see me in some Suffolk Non-League show merch. If you want to do that, go over to the website, check it all out. You can, of course, do one-off donations via Ko-fi, which is absolutely amazing, like these guys have done here. Just head over to ko-fi.com/Suffolk Non-League show. or you can become a Patreon member, a monthly amount, anything from £1 a month. You can cancel it at any time, but all of the monthly contributors that are on screen right now have done so. If you want to be like those absolute legends, then please do check out the links for all of those. They are in the description of these videos. Make sure you go and check that out. Before we get too far into the show, I can actually see a man, the myth, the legend, Adam Wade has joined me from his.
Hi. You're right. Yeah, not bad.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man. How's the holiday?
Yeah, good. Relaxing. So been to the beach today, James.
I'm absolutely loving the commitment, by the way. Has to be said. I'm glad the chat are appreciative of, or I'm sure they'll be appreciative of you joining in.
Matt and I are venturing out to Anglian Com Div 1 tomorrow, I think.
Nice. What game are you off to?
I don't know. Wells are playing.
Right. Okay.
Wells next to the sea away to somebody. I can't remember who they're playing, but we're going to a game.
Good man. Good man. How long have I got you this evening? How long have you been allowed?
Well, I'm gonna log off in a second, like now, to put Finley to bed. I'll check back in later. But I just thought I'd say hi. But yeah, I'll check back in later for the results, maybe.
Good man.
I'll let you do the news and all the hard work on your own, but just thought I'd say hi to everyone.
Yeah, and then come in and steal the limelight when you talk about other results later on. I like it. That's
maybe.
Good. That's good. I like your style. Fair play. We'll speak to you in a bit, my man. Speak to you.
All right, catch you later. All right.
Speak to you later, man. Yeah, loads of you already piling into the show, which is great. We've got Tony in the building. Good evening, everyone. Matchday Marketing is here. Shem, good evening. Hope you're well. Spent the whole day Saturday in the technical area and loved every second. Well, most of it. James is here. Ryan is here. Shane is here. Ipswich evening all. Nice to see Blaine Hudson on the score sheet again for TNS. He's from Galston and played for Norwich and Cambridge. Oh, there you go. Ryan Gardner. Evening, guys. Not watched in a while, as have training Mondays now, but got a week off. Good man. Glad you're here, Ryan. Good to see that you're spending your Monday nights in the right company. Love that. Any update on the situation at Ipswich Wanderers? No. As far as we're aware, we haven't seen anything. We haven't heard anything. So, no update to bring you on that. Stephen's in the building. Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. I was watching Simon Reacts just in the background, just whilst I was doing graphics this evening. I just needed some stuff just to kind of keep me in a positive mood and a positive mindset, because I said it's been a bit of a tough day. With eyesight issues, have you considered refereeing, says Tony? Do you know what? Funny enough, I actually have considered refereeing. The amount of times I've been like this close to actually going along on their courses, but I don't know. I just get the feeling that once you're on one of those lists, you're going to be pestered for a long time to be a referee at certain games, and I can't stand the abuse. It's just not. I don't know, just not for me. Irv is here. Evening, everybody. Evening, Dan. Evening, Glenn. Evening, everybody. Evening, Matthew. Yes, yeah. Cheers, mate. It's just a bit of a cold and whatnot. Just to let everybody know, this video and tonight's live stream is actually not available for some reason on Twitter. So if you know of anybody who watches the live streams via Twitter, please send the link out to them and let everybody know, because I put a post out on Twitter tonight to say you can't watch it, click this link. But I think some people will be missing it. So as I said, if you know somebody who watches it on Twitter, send the link over to them now. That would be very, very much appreciated. Michael's here. Good evening, mate. Dan, hope you're well. Tried to contact you. Oh, okay. If you have, email me again. Email me. I haven't seen anything. I could be wrong, but email me and we'll try and sort something out after the show. Anyway, we've got a lot to go through, a lot of results and talking points. But I suppose obviously we have to talk about the breaking news that happened from last week that we didn't get a chance to go through and talk about, which was the news from Coddenham in the SIL that they are the latest club that sadly has decided to pull their teams from the SIL. I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comments right now. What do you make of the whole situation? Not from a Coddenham perspective, but from an SIL overall, because it's becoming quite alarming, the amount of teams that are just disappearing for one reason or another. And I just want to get everyone's thoughts about what they make on the decision by Coddenham. They've released a statement which we'll go through in a minute, but it kind of all accumulates from what we discussed last time, which was the fact that Joel, who helped set up the club, left previously. New people came in, and then very, very quickly, the club is no longer here. And let's just read out their statements before I kind of get your thoughts and everybody in the comment section here. So Coddenham put out 3 tweets, and it said, "It is with real regret and sadness that Coddenham will have to pull both sides from the Macron SIL for the new season. The club was formed on a team of mates that played youth football together, and the club grew through the SIL since the formation in 2013. With players moving on and seeking new opportunities across both squads, the decision to remove both sides from the SIL was the only option we had left. We have had some tough years and some really great ones, but this summer proved just too much for everyone involved. And instead of letting the club limp through and die out slowly, the decision was made to pull it with fond and happy memories. Thank you to everyone who has been involved in this wonderful journey." So, a really sad statement there. There's not really any sort of blame or, they've put out the reasons that the core of a squad is just not there anymore. But I don't know. I thought there was going to be people coming in to step in and maybe take things over, but that doesn't really appear to be happening. I did hear rumours of a potential merge with another club in the SIL. I'm not going to mention who they are. I think a lot of people will probably know who they are. But that apparently the other club just didn't want that to happen. And as a result, they just couldn't see how they could field a squad, field a team, and the name Coddenham Athletic go on any further. So it's a sad day. It's a club that has treated me very well in my times that have gone over there, and the missus, when she came on to the games with me, she always talks about her time going over to Coddenham, which is nice. So yeah, it's just a real shame. As I said, another club that leaves on the point of us kicking off, and they obviously made their decision before Saturday's games were starting. So I just want to get your thoughts and opinions on it, really, in the comment section. Shem has put, "Worrying that it's a Div 1 side and very sad after all of the hard work that was put in over the years." Dan has put, "We played the reserves just before they decided to leave SIL. You could see that it wasn't going to last. Great bunch of people, shame to lose them, and a lot of work done on the pitch." Yeah, I know the pitch in particular was it was a struggle to get it. I remember a couple of years back people complaining or talking about the pitch, but just really, really sad to see that this has happened. But I'm sure they'll come back maybe in a couple of years' time. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it's just a really, really sad situation, to be honest. To be honest, as a Coddenham insider, I saw this coming for a long time. Players and management were leaving and no one was really coming in. Well, this is what I thought the thing with Joel leaving and then somebody else coming in. I don't know whether or not I kind of misread the statement on there, but I thought that Joel was leaving so that other people could come in and sort of maybe turn things around. But as I said, evidently that's not really happened. Tony, COVID has seen a lot of players find other things in their life that replace football. Rural side will always struggle to replace them as they have a smaller pool of players to recruit from. It's a great point. That's a really, really good point. Because I suppose for a lot of clubs, maybe in and around places like Ipswich, Bury, etc., that or from places like Stowmarket, whatever the case may be, you've got a big community kind of around you that you can just say, right, well, we want players. You live in Ipswich, it's not too far away from you. When do you want to play? But to ask somebody to come out into what is known as the sticks, to get people to come out there, maybe that might have been a bit of a stretch too much for some people. I don't know. Sorry for the pause there for anybody listening on an audio platform. Throat's just having an absolute mare at the moment. Ryan Owen, sad to see another club fold in Division 1 now. There's only going to be 20 games, 3 home games lost, which is a big knock-on effect on finance. Again, this is a big talking point for the other clubs in the division. They are going to have a major knock-on effect with that. In fact, if I try and get the league up now up on my screen, whilst having a bit of a chat about that. Yeah, we've now only got 11 clubs in play. Wow, that's really sad at that level. Really, really is sad. But yeah, you make a very, very valid point about the number of teams that are going to have home games. It's quite sad. It's literally they slowly died out when Samuels were formed, and with other big players going to senior divisions. Yeah, I did see quite a few of their players leaving. I also saw a few Witnesham Wasps signed a couple of their players as well, which I know a lot of their squad kind of went back and forth, etc. between those. But yeah, I saw a few kind of disappearing. But then they made the announcement fairly recently that they signed like 7 or 8 players. They put a tweet out like a week or so ago, or not a week, maybe like 3 weeks ago, saying, "Oh, we've just signed a load of players." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, they're all gone. These guys are coming in, and there's your replacement." But clearly wasn't enough. Dan, Leyston, St Margaret's have had to fold as well. Dan has put on here, big clubs getting bigger, smaller clubs getting smaller or folding. Adam, think Kesgrove Kestrels lost their Sunday team this week as well, which is really sad. Hey lads, sorry I'm late. I'll be dropping in and out due to Speedway and play football match. No worries, Pen. Don't worry about it. 20 likes. I'm not going to set like targets. That's just not who I am. But if anybody wants to hit the like button to help with the YouTube algorithm, feel free to hit the like button. That would be very, very much appreciated. But yeah, so as I said, rather sad news from that part. As I said, I just wish everybody connected to the football club all the best moving forward, really. Never a nice thing to see. I don't really know what more to say. I'm sure Adam would have some kind of insight into it to kind of back, to go along with my points. But there we go. So yeah, that was the news coming out of Coddenham. Really, really sad to see on that part. Stephen, consolidate SIL into 3 divisions rather than 4. More match days, more income. Yeah, I mean, there comes a point where the leagues can only get to a certain length, certain shortness rather of teams in them. You don't want it to be like an SPL kind of situation where you've only got 10 teams per division. I think actually what the SIL could and really should start looking at is a number of reserve sides from the furlough none coming into it, and from the likes of Bury, Isthmian sides, Southern Premier League sides, their reserve teams having an opportunity to come in and do into the league, because I know people are a bit skeptical about reserve side, and again, I'd love to hear what people think about this in the comment section right now, but the Angling Com have reserve teams in amongst their leagues, and they seem to be getting on quite well with it. I just think that the more teams we've got in the SIL, the better and more competitive it will be. If you've got the likes of, as I said, I know Needhams are in the furlough none, but if you look at maybe, for example, like Lowestoft, if you look at Stonemarkers reserves, rather than having those in a furlough reserve league, why not open the door and say, right, you know what, you want to play competitive football? We're not going to give you a limit as to what you can do or what leagues you can go up to. Why not come into our league? I don't know. Maybe people from the SIL won't like that. I don't know whether or not people in the comment section who are watching this video live what they will make of that. But it's something to consider, because I don't know what it's going to take for how many teams are we going to have to lose before action is kind of taken to say, right, well, look, we haven't done it before, but maybe we need to start doing it now. So I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. As I said, maybe you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section. Ryan, the point you made about village clubs is so true, though. Getting players is harder the further you live outside of Ipswich and Bury. It is, and it's, sadly, the past few years, as Tony mentioned earlier on, it's only going to get harder because more and more people have become settled and accustomed to life, being at home, doing other things, seeing other people, doing other things. The more people get acclimatized to that, the harder it's going to be to attract people into it. You've just got to try and explain the benefits of it. But I know it's easier said than done when you're on the ground, really working your ass off to try and get people to come in the door. Adam agrees with what Stephen said about consolidating the leagues. Ryan, Stephen's point is a great one. Make the divisions bigger and get rid of Div 4. Never really seen what Div 4 is, has been about. Maybe somebody can enlighten me about that. Matthew, furlough non-reserve league is so spread out. That's why a lot of Norfolk clubs stick to Anglian Com. Yeah, it's very true. But again, the league has been open to the league has been open to reserve sides coming in, and I just don't see the harm in the SIL, which is the Anglian Com equivalent, of just maybe having that conversation and just seeing what clubs will want to do. I know there might be some clubs who won't like it, but I think for the sake of the league, there's no harm in having that conversation and just seeing what people may want to do. The Div 4 side of it is a great shout, and I probably have to say I probably tend to agree with what Stephen put on there. Maybe we just get rid of Div 4 and just go straight into into 3 divisions of much bigger teams. It's a potential option and one we can certainly explore as the seasons go on. And again, if we were invited to one of these kind of meetings, I'd love to be able to put my hand up and make that suggestion to people and see what others would make of it. But there we go. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Adam, starting the league earlier this year is hurting clubs as well. There is a very poor player availability. It's very difficult because I'm finding it myself at the moment, and I'm not even a player or a representative of a club. The moment that people were told you can meet up and you can go out and do X, Y, Z, my diary, or should I rephrase that? My wife's diary has become very, very busy. So, for example, this coming Saturday, we've got a wedding to go to. Like, people have just gone, right, let's get everything done now. And August has just been absolutely manic for both of us. Like, we just have not stopped. It's just been absolutely crazy. And I think with players as well, that I saw a couple of tweets where people saying, we didn't have players available because of like a stag do, or they'd gone out with their mates, or they were doing X, Y, Z, they were doing this, they're doing that. I can't see it, especially over the next month or so. It's not going to get any easier. It's just, unfortunately, it's just going to be one of those things. People booking their holidays, etc. It's really, really tough at the moment. But if they didn't start their seasons off early, and I get what Adam is saying, if the leagues didn't start their seasons off early and we weren't able to fulfill our fixtures because of anything that potentially comes up in the future, we would be moaning at the leagues for not starting the seasons earlier. So really, they're in a no-win situation, aren't they? They're going to piss off somebody. There's going to be some people upset about it. It's just, I think they've probably made the right decision about kicking things off earlier. But there is that. Let's get a few more of your comments because you guys are absolutely. The chat is going off at the moment. Glenn, without floodlights, you can't go larger than 14 as not enough Saturdays. Senior has extra midweek games. Yeah, the senior does. We've got a few of those coming up very, very soon. Shem, I agree with Adam. In all age groups, cricket hasn't finished, for example. Matchday marketing, Anglian Com with reserve sides works very well. A lot of the furlough none side have reserve sides in there. Norwich United, Great Yarmouth, Swaffham, Mulbarton, plus many, many more. Mr. Venables, SIL Div 4 is about kicking players or under 18s. Adam, that's quite a glowing review. Tony, player availability will be an issue all season round. Squads are ever more important as we catch up on all those missed weddings, stags, holidays, christenings. Yeah, talk about christenings, etc. We've been 4 or 5 short each game so far. I know a lot of people, a lot of squads have. We see it all the time on Twitter and Facebook posts and Instagram and stuff like that. The amount of people that are saying that they still haven't had their best 11 to pick from when some of them have thought 4 or 5 games deep already at this point is quite startling, but it's the reality of where we are at the moment. Shem, ref availability. Yeah, again, the referee side of it was something we don't really think about and consider, but again, there's all these games going on, and the referee's availability is it's going to be stretched. Really, it really is going to be stretched. Glenn, it's only 1 week earlier than last season, an attempt to try and get games in case of another winter lockdown. Yeah, again, the amount of midweek games that the furlough none are going to be trying to do now. We had a look, myself and Adam, before the ball was kicked, about the amount of games between September and October. There's a lot of midweek games going to be happening this year, which for me is fantastic. More games to get to, great. But yeah, like you said, the actual scheduling of it has only been a week earlier, but the midweek games will ultimately catch that up. Dan, at least if you double vaccinated now, rather, you don't have to self-isolate. Well, that is that. I had my second one done not last week, but the week before, and I'm now ill. I don't want to put the 2 and 2 together. This is why I wish I had had Adam to back off and go back on. Anyway, moving on. My immune system's just rubbish anyway. He'll back that up. Tony, 4 or 5 players missing is crazy considering your scoreline, says Dan. Yeah, Christ, imagine if they were available. Dan, leagues are so short of referees right now as well. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. So yeah, as I said, talking about Condom has then led into the rest of this conversation about the leagues. It's been brilliant. I think there's a lot of options that potentially we can have moving forward. And this is what this show ultimately is about. We want to provide those talking points. We want to be able to provide a platform for people to give their voices and opinion. Hopefully, as I said, we can put those points across to the league and maybe have that kind of discussion with them. So we'll see. We will 100% see kind of moving forward whether or not that is something that we can do. Right, so that's the kind of news bits out of the way. There's not really been a massive amount to kind of talk about from a news perspective. If anybody else has got any other news items they want us to go through, let me know let me know in the comment section. We'll try and revisit it after we've gone through some of the score lines, etc., and also some of the videos and the talking point, from the fixtures and results, etc. Jamie Sanders, commitment is a very big problem in grassroots football and how players are today. Years ago, football was a priority, but it's getting worse even. Yeah, I know. Yeah, prior to COVID, I could totally see that. We were losing clubs at a rate of knots. It's only got worse. Really, really has only got worse. I just wonder when it's going to stop. That's the thing that I'm kind of looking forward at this point, because whilst it's sad now and we are going to see it, I just don't know how long it's going to continue to go on for. I think it could happen for the next year or so. I really hope it doesn't, but I don't know. I can just see it happening. Some games in the SIL have no refs next week and only 2 senior games with assistant. Jesus, really? I didn't know that. But I suppose that backs up Dan's comment from earlier on about the games being short of officials. That's really, really, really sad to see. Wow, Michael, a £5 donation in the super chat. That's so appreciated, my man. Thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you. if anybody else wants to put a donation like Michael has, as I said, little $ next to the chat, click that. Any amount. You could put any amount on there. And then if you want to put a comment next to it, even better. It has to be read out. But thank you so much, Michael. That's really, really kind of you. Lack of player commitment is part of a reason Bramford folded before. Yeah, it's, again, very true. Another side that we saw leaving very, very soon from the SIL senior. So let's talk about results now. Let's start going through some of the results and fixtures and all this kind of stuff like that coming up. We've had loads of people sending us in goal clips of different goals that have happened throughout this week. So I'm going to try and link my screen to the one I'm currently on at the moment as we start going through some of these. Adam, if you are still in the chat, my man, and if you are available and you want to come on and talk about any of the results, then feel free to do so. I want everybody to get in the comment section as much as possible with some of the. If you were at any of these games, whatever the scoreline was, let me know what the game was like. Just give us a bit of a match report on it. Michael, just a little kickback as Adam gave me a discount code for a pair of trainers. Love it, but still, I really, really appreciate the £5 donation, my man. It's so nice of you and very, very kind. As I said, all of that money goes back into the running costs of the show. Right, let's get on. So we had midweek action from the FA Cup. Obviously, we had all of our Saturday prior to these games, and we had a number of replays that were taking place. We were actually covering on the Tuesday night the FA Cup games as they were going in. And as many of you will remember, the Mulbarton game against Lakenheath, there was an injury in that game, which meant that the full-time whistle didn't actually take place for a long, long time. And there was a lot of late drama in that one. But the final score ended up being Mulbarton 3, Lakenheath 1. So, yeah, I said late drama. I think there was a goal, if I remember correctly, in like the 97th minute. Absolutely crazy from that point. But yeah, really, really good game overall. And I think I speak on behalf of both myself and Adam, where I wish Craig Nurse, the Lakenheath player, all the best in his recovery from his injury. Sounds quite a nasty ankle injury. And as somebody who has suffered from an ankle injury in the past, I can't. I hopefully, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Hopefully, he's broken something as opposed to ligament or torn anything, because my ligament damage was horrific. I tore 3 ligaments in my ankle, and it took nearly 6 to 9 months to recover. It was mental. Whereas apparently a break takes 2 or 3 months in some cases to recover. So hopefully it's not as bad as what people think, but we should get a bit of a situation regarding that one very, very soon, hopefully. But yeah, we'll send him all the best. And I can see already loads of you are piling in. Dave, get well soon on there. Dan has put on here, get well soon as well. Get well soon, Craig. And again, echoed in our, echoed from everyone here at the Suffolk Non-League show. We really, really do wish you the best in your recovery, mate. Hannah, late to the party tonight. I was photographing in Essex this weekend. No worries, Hannah. Glad you're here. Good to see some of your work from Witten making the local press, which is fantastic. National News, FA Cup, etc. Witten in their game, talking about Hannah, won 2-1 in their replay against Kempston Rovers. And we also had Northampton on Chenix beating God Manchester 1-0. And then there was 2 games that took place on the Wednesday. It was Haverhill 0, Coggenhoe United 2. So Haverhill go out of the FA Cup, and I don't know whether or not some people will consider this a shock scoreline. Would you say it? Would you guys consider this a shock? Long Melford 0, Kirkley and Patefield 4. Long Melford openly admitting on Twitter that they just didn't deserve to get anything out of the game. Kirkley were the far superior team. I'm going to try and load up their Twitter feed to tell you exactly what they said on the day, because they were quite brutal in their assessment of the game. You have to bear with me on this one. Where was it? No, that's not the one. Anyway, they weren't best pleased. Let's put it that way. They weren't best pleased with their performance that night. So yeah, Haverhill going out, Long Milford going out, Kirkley and Patefield going through to the next round. But what that does mean is that we do have some games going on this weekend, which is now in the next round of the FA Cup. And all of the ones for our local sides are on screen here. So we've got Brantham, who are at home against Spalding United, or Spalding, not entirely sure. I'm sure Adam would be correcting me if he was here. I'm sure he'll be correcting me in the comment section in a few moments. Cockfosters versus Sudbury, Cockenhoe United versus DeeJam, Fakenham versus Bury, Felixstowe versus Southend Manor, Kirkley and Patefield versus Northampton on Chenix, Mulbarton versus Hadley, Norwich United versus Newmarket. What a game. Potton United versus Walsham with Willow, Stowmarket versus Whittam, Ware versus #United, Wisbeach versus Whitton, and the final game on the list is Yaxley versus Mildenhall. Mate, I'm trying to scroll through it, but trying to scroll through it on my own when you're not here. Not blaming you, but it's quite difficult when you're trying to do that. Where is it? I'm trying to get it. Whereabouts is it? I said they were quite honest with it. It finishes 4-0. Here you go. It finishes 4-0. A really disappointing performance from our point of view, but well played, Kirkley, and good luck for the next round. So they were quite scathing on there before. Matthew breaking Adam spotted and showing him today. Unconfirmed rumours he had a Mr. Whippy without a flake. Brilliant. Absolutely love that. Magnum for me. Brilliant. Dan, very impressed with Kirkley, although it was only 1-0 after 85 minutes, rather. Could have won by a few more, which is wow. Goals in the Kirkley and Patefield game. Have we got some of those highlights, have we? I'll tell you what, let me bring up on screen right now. I think this is actually the game that Adam is referring to. So this is the footage actually from that Kirkley and Patefield game. So let me see if we can bring that up here. Won't be 2 seconds. There we go. Right, let's press play. So this is from... Oh, that's a soft goal to concede. You'd be annoyed if you conceded that. And this has obviously gone way into the second half, as Dan said. Oh, that's nice play. Good finish. Really, really good finish. I like that. And then obviously as Long Milford are chasing the game. Oh, nice through ball. Keeper's come out. Oh, that's filthy. 3-0. Yeah. Long Milford obviously chasing the game at this point. This must have come straight from the kickoff. Kirkley going for the jugular here. Header out. Tell you what, hit it. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Can we watch that last bit again? I'm going to watch it again. I actually love this goal. Look at this. Touch. Boom. Have some of that. That is absolutely brilliant. So that is footage, actually, from the Long Milford versus Kirkley and Patefield game, which is brilliant. Love that. Got all the time in the world for that. So, yeah. Here are as I said, some of the fixtures to look at. I mean, there's some big games in there. I'm looking forward to seeing the Isthmian sides in action. You know, Stowmarket will be feeling they can win against Whittam Town. Felixstowe being at home is a great advantage. Bury will be seeing the Fakenham game as a really good opportunity for them to go through. DeeJam, again, a team that I'm going to be keeping my eye on quite a lot this season. I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on in their game. We've obviously got the two Furlough Nunn clashes with Mulbarton versus Hadley, Norwich versus Newmarket. What game are you looking forward to? Let me know down in the comment section. Shem, Norwich versus Newmarket. I'd probably say I agree on that from a Furlough Nunn perspective. Not sure which one I'm looking more forward to though. Mulbarton versus Hadley could potentially be a very, very good game on paper, because you never know with Newmarket what they're going to be like from away from home. That's the thing. But yeah, I don't know. What game are you guys looking forward to? Dan, Yaxley versus Mildenhall looks like a very good game. Yaxley are not a side I know a massive amount about, from being honest. Dan has put the Hadley game. Yeah, Hadley game looks very, very, very good. But yeah, all of those games taking place this weekend, 21st, this Saturday coming up. James has put, I'm going to have to go for Mulbarton versus Hadley. Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, I reckon so. Like I said, it's a good opportunity for some of our sides to get through into the next round. 100%. Sudbury are away from home as well at the top of the screen there against Cockfosters. Yeah, some really, really good games on that way. After the way Stowmarket plays Saturday, I fancy a result against Whittam. We'll talk in a bit about actually how Stowmarket got on. But from what I hear, they played quite well on Saturday. Dave Holder will boss it again. I'm guessing you're referring to Steve Holder, the Hadley manager. I presume that's who you're referring to anyway. Adam with the shade. This is why I need you next to me, man, because I present and you just knock things out of the park. Whittam should be easy pickings for that Stowe side. Again, if Whittam need any sort of encouragement for this game, there you go. There's your post. Oh, dear me. He doesn't help himself sometimes, does he? He really, really doesn't. But yeah. Brilliant. So that's the FA Cup ties that are going on this weekend. We also saw this weekend, actually, the Southern League Premier Central kicking off, and we had a plethora of goals going in our Leiston game. They won 4-0 away from home against Bromsgrove Sporting. And thanks to Bromsgrove for releasing the highlights, I've actually managed to get them on their YouTube channel. If you are wanting to go, I'll tell you what, after this game, they're on 518 subscribers. If you want to keep up to date with Step 3 football and what's going on this season, these guys post out their highlights normally on the Monday after each game. Go over there and check it out right now. Leiston actually got in contact with me and made me aware of this. But yeah, go over to Bromsgrove Sporting, go over to their channel right now, subscribe to it, like I've just done there. Give them a big thumbs up as well. That will really, really... I'd love it if we could get them to like 600. That'd be absolutely mental. I don't know if I can do that, but maybe 550. Go over there and subscribe once you've done with that. But yeah, here are the highlights. I've actually done a little bit of research prior to this and time-stamped the goal. So this is the first goal from that game. Nice, good finish into the bottom corner there. So that's the first goal in the game. The next one comes up here. So this then makes it 2-0. Oh, just wins there. Oh, between the keeper's legs. You love to see it. Won the ball quite nicely there. But tucked the ball between the keeper's legs. That is absolutely lovely. So that made it 2-0. 3-0 comes 2 minutes 15 into the game. So really good save by the goalkeeper that one. And George Quantrell, somebody I know quite well and rate very highly. Let's just watch that again. So the ball on the edge of the area here. Goalkeeper makes a good save. Yeah, no one's following in George after the initial shot. George now playing a step 3 football. Well played to the lads. Finishing it off. And then 4 minutes into the video, this is then the 4th goal. And if my memory serves me correct, this is a very good goal. You're going to like this. Oh, I mean, a round of applause for that man. I know the replay is showing it there, but let's just appreciate the run first of all. So they win the ball back in their half in the corner. He picks up the ball here in his own area and then unleashes that. I mean, that is just absolutely quality. I love that goal so much. But yeah, so that was a so. Thank you very much to Bronze Grove for releasing that footage there. But as you can see, as I said, they won by 4-0. Yeah, what a win away from home. That's brilliant. What a win for Leiston. Will Davies is an ex-COP player. There you go. Another ex-SIL striker getting it done in the higher league, says Tony. Adam, can't rejoin, by the way, boy. Still trying to sort bedtime out. Don't worry about it, mate. If you can't, you can't. We've got a lot of leagues to go through. We've got the Super Six to do as well, so don't worry about it. If you can't, don't worry. We'll try and sort something out next week, my man. Don't rush yourself. Ex-AFC Kesgrove player Will Davies. Yeah, what a strike though! What an unbelievable strike. But yeah, other than that, from a local perspective, there wasn't really an awful lot to shout about. Obviously, Leiston getting their win, but both Needham and Lowestoft losing their opening games. Needham 2-1 away from home against Hednesford Town. Sorry, I'm having to constantly take sips of my water tonight. I really do apologise. Lowestoft rather losing 3-0 at home to Barwell. Other results, as you can see on the screen there, you can take your pick about which teams you think have done quite well and which teams you potentially want to look out for. The Biggleswade and Nuneaton game looks like an absolute banger. Disappointing result for Needham. I really do agree with that. I was expecting them to get something from that game, whether or not it's a draw. But yeah, disappointing for them to lose the opening game there. But then what that then means is that we then have midweek action going on in this division, and we also have Saturday fixtures that are going on. And what I can say from this week, we've got Leiston versus Royston, Needham Market versus St Ives Town. Lowestoft are away from home against Biggleswade. I can confirm that tomorrow's game that I'm going to is the Needham Market versus St Ives one. That is going to be match day experience number 2 of the season. As I said, I will be going to watch Needham Market. I've then got an S Wednesday, which I will confirm in due course. But yeah, Needham Market. If you are going to the game tomorrow, if I'm feeling better, come over and say hello. If I'm not, I'll post about it on my social medias. Just stay well clear of me. Just to confirm before anybody jumps on the bandwagon, it's not COVID. I've had a negative test before anybody says that. It's just a little bit of man flu. But yeah, stay away from me tomorrow if I'm not better. If I am, feel free to come up and say hello if you are at the Needham Market game. But I want to see how they bounce back from that. I really, really want to see how they bounce back. But yeah, I need to be at a local-ish game tomorrow, but I love going to Needham Market. I'd quite happily buy a season ticket there if they wanted, if I could, because I love going to watch Needham Market play. They're a really, really nice club. So yeah, Leiston and Needham are at home, and we've also, as I said, we've got Lowestoft away from home. Dan, yeah, see you at Needham. See you tomorrow, my man. Looking forward to it. Big loss for Lowestoft. He's a big loss. David, Needham were worth a point on that day. Dan's put a fancy Royce in the season, especially since Matty Batum has gone back there from Hemel. So they are the midweek fixtures. On the weekend, then, we have got Needham and Leiston are at home. Leiston are at home against Redditch, who won their opening game. Needham are at home against Bronze Grove Sporting, who we just saw lost their opening game to Leiston. And we've also got Lowestoft away from home, so they've now got 2 back-to-back away games, and they are going away to Tamworth, who lost their opening game. So it'll be very interesting to see whether or not Lowestoft can pick up any points over the next couple of games to bounce back from what Adam says is a very disappointing opening day. defeat. Then we move on to the Isthmian results, and this is where I need Michael to come in and comment on the Stowmarket game. You'll see the scoreline down the bottom there. But AFC Sudbury started off their return, and obviously to league action, and Rick Andrews and Angelo Harrop's first game from a league perspective in charge. They drew 1-1 at home to Aveley. I wasn't actually able to keep on top of what was going on in that game, but it'll be very interesting if anybody was there to say what the game was like. I think actually I might have some footage of that goal. I think actually, yeah, this looks like it's VO cam footage from behind the goal. See if I can just bring this up on my screen here. If I can, this is brilliant. So here we go. Good goal. Let's just see that again. So as you can see here, ball comes over to the right-hand side, over the top. That's a good finish, to be fair. That's a very, very good finish. I'd love to be able to get another angle of it rather than just behind the goal. But that's very, very impressive. We're doing a slow motion replay over here. Let's see if we can try to do it again. So the ball comes over here, and it's almost like a cross shot that just kind of completely deceives the goalkeeper. And yeah, that's the Sudbury goal. Love that. Let's get the other results back up on the screen here. So yeah, Dereham won 3-1 at home to Haybridge Swifts. Felixstowe starting off their campaign with a 1-1 draw against Basildon United. Bury losing 2-1 to Grays Athletic opening weekend result. Would you consider that a shock? Let me know in the comment section. Are you surprised by that result? Obviously, many people, including myself and Adam, expecting Bury to go very, very strong this year. A couple of quotes from the Bury camp. Gutted about today's result. We will put it right next game. Happy to get a goal, says Jake Chambers Short, in the first game, but 3 points are more important onwards and upwards. Any other? Oh, yes, we do have the absolute belter of a goal in this game. Unique. Oh, yeah. How did I nearly forget that? This is Bury's goal from their game. How did I nearly miss this one? There's been some absolute brilliant goals this weekend. And I think what is really good as well is that there's so much footage of non-league football around at the moment, which is just fantastic and so pleasing to see. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, this is Bury's goal in their game. I know obviously they lost, but this is still a brilliant goal. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Let's just take it back. Header. Doesn't need a second touch. I mean, that's just phenomenal. So yeah, that was the Bury goal. Bloody hell, there's been some absolute bangers this weekend. Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Absolutely. That honestly, there have been so many good goals. Hashtag Coggeshall hashtag was 1-1. Was it? Not from what I've seen. Don't know if you're right on that one, mate. Let me just go and double check that, because from what I saw, it was. Oh, you are right. It was 1-1. The website has got it saying that it was 1-0. So apologies about that. I should maybe do my research a little bit more. But the website that we use actually had that result down as 1-0 to Coggeshall. But there we go. So hashtag drew 1-1 in their game, and obviously Stowmarket picking up a 2-2 draw in their game against Canvey Island. And apparently Canvey Island are tipped to do very well this year and are one of the favourites in this division. Michael, Stowmarket were up. We were up and at them from the get-go. Went 1-0 up after 30 minutes, but grew into the game. And to be honest, we equally deserved a point. Sorry, should have said 1-0 down. Oh, okay, so 1-0 down after 30 minutes, but grew into the game and deserved a point. Matthew, the AFC Sudbury goal by another graduate from the AFC Sudbury Academy making his debut. Oh, that's class. I like that. That's a good... Sudbury have got a good academy, haven't they? They've got a good youth setup down there. You love to see it. You love to see it. Sorry, Shem, but they didn't. The website, as that I use, says that they did, but the actual hashtag result was 1-1. I need to change that actually on not only my. This is going to sound so nerdy to you lot here. I have a notepad with all of the results from every league that I do. So I put little wins, draws, and losses next to every single team, so I can keep like a running tally of all of the divisions and who's in form and stuff like that. So when I come to make the fixture graphic, you can see who's actually in form. So I do need to update that. So thank you, Adam, for pointing out that mistake there, so I can update things moving forward. Ishmael Northwise, there are no fixtures going on this weekend in that division because of the FA Cup games that are taking place this weekend. Obviously, we've already talked about those. So yeah, no midweek action, no Saturday action. So I think they returned on the 28th, I think is the date that those guys return. So yeah, so no other results and stuff to talk about from the Ishmael side of it. Furlough none Premier time. We are rattling our way through these divisions, aren't we, at this point? So here are the midweek action, and I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. Stephen, a bit of software called Excel. Yeah, I know. I'm old school. What can I say? I know Adam will probably say exactly the same thing, but I just prefer to do things via pen and paper. That's just how I do things. I'm just like that. So yeah, we move on. Midweek action, as I said. Yeah, honestly, I'll get confused with Microsoft Word if you chuck Excel at me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, all right. I'm not that bad, mate. I'm not that bad. For those of you listening on audio platforms, Adam just compared me to a granddad. Yeah, there we go. Midweek action from the furlough none. So from the Premier, we had Bruntham and Hadley drawing 0-0. Galston winning 3-0 against Fakenham, and Walsham the Willows winning 2-0 away from home against Thetford Town. So that was the midweek action. Weekend-wise, get involved in the comment section right now. Which of these results is a standout result for you? Adam, let me know which one of these results do you think was the pick of the round. I've got my one straight away without any question. Although having looked at one other just above it, maybe I'm questioning myself. So anyway, it was Wroxham 7, Long Melford 1, Galston 3, Thetford 2, Hadley 5, Fakenham 1, Mildenhall 1, Kirkley and Patefield 4, Mulbarton 5, Brantham 1, Norwich United 3, March Town United 0, Swaffham 1, Ely 2, Walsham Willows 3, Haverhill Rovers 0. The Whitton versus Lakenheath game was postponed due to a COVID outbreak. And Woodbridge 0, Newmarket Town 1. What is your standout result from that? My one is Mulbarton beating Brantham 5-1. Brantham, we know, look, defensively, they're a solid outfit. I think to score 5 against them is very, very impressive. I know a lot of people are going to potentially say Kirkley, and I'll get to your score predictions. What you think in the comment section right now. But Kirkley beating Mildenhall is a shock result. Mulbarton beating Brantham is a shock result. There's some big results coming out of this league. I said it's going to be so fascinating to kind of see how this one really pans out after like 7 or 8 games. This league is literally anyone. It really, really is anybody. Let's get your comments up on the screen right now because I can see a load of them have have piled in. Shem, Mole Barton all day long. Dan has put in here, Woodbridge actually missed a penalty in their game. Adam saying Hadley as a shock result or as a standout result. That's a big statement, though, isn't it? Hadley winning 5-1 against Fakenham. That is a very, very big statement for Steve Holder to say that he deserves that opportunity and he's going to continue the work that's been put in place already. That is a very, very big statement of intent, that scoreline. You can't get away from that. James, Wroxham getting 7 at home. Not a nice place to go to. Yeah, Long Melford and Thetford have felt the wrath of Wroxham. Let's put it that way. They have felt the wrath of Wroxham. Dan, player of the week performance of the week rather has to be between Kirkley and Mole Barton. Yeah, I mentioned I was going to say Mole Barton as mine, and then I saw the result above it, and I thought, is it? But yeah, I'm going to give it to Mole Barton. I am going to give it. Stephen, great result for Hadley. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. That is an absolutely superb result. Dave, Mole Barton and Mildenhall is crazy. Missed all of these results Saturday. A bit busy. Yes, you were. Congratulations on your wedding, my man. For those of you who don't know, Dave got married this weekend. Round of applause and congratulations from myself and Adam at the Suffolk Non-League show on your nuptials. Is that what they're called? I don't know. They probably are. But yeah, Adam, Kirkley, Mole Barton, trio of Droke results, incredible by the winning clubs, but Kirkley is the big one for me. Ipswich is putting Hadley 5, Fakenham 1. Didn't expect Hadley to win by that much. It's always interesting when you get a new manager coming in, what kind of transformation or changes are going to be made on there. But as I said, that's a very, very big statement from me. Match day has put Mole Barton as well. Trimley, I said, I can't look beyond that just because I know what Brantham are capable of. I think that's a great result. Adam makes a very good point here. Don't forget, Fakenham are fresh from turning Norwich United over, then getting battered by Hadley. This league is mental. 100%. 100%. Dave, Thetford starting to look in trouble, but feel they just need a break. I know I don't normally do this, but let me just have a quick look what Thetford's next run of game is, because you are right. 4 games they've played now. They've drawn 1, which was the opening game of the season, but they've lost their last 3. And I know they've had Wroxham, Walsham, and Galston. They are some tough teams, but their next few games, actually, they are quite. There's no easy games in this league. Thetford's next few games are Swaffham at home and Long Melford away. They need to get something from those next 2 games, you would have to say. You'd have to say that those 2, there's no next 2 games, they have to start getting something from those. And I'd probably agree with that, Dave. Because the next ones after that, you've got Woodbridge, Norwich United, Kirkley, Hadley. The next 4 after that are mental. So if you don't start getting something from these next 2, you do start to worry about Thetford. But I'm not worrying at this point. We'll see what they do over the next few weeks. We'll see how they get on. James, Thetford have Swaffham at home next. It is a massive game. Yeah, 100% agree with that. Hadley, Kirkley, and Mole Barton, says Irv. Adam, Thetford versus Swaffham will be... Well, some of these games... some of these games open themselves up and present themselves up in a way that it might not be on paper to be the best game, but when you actually go there, maybe both teams kind of let things go a little bit and just kind of go for it. I don't know. I don't know. It could be a brilliant game. I really, really don't know. It could be an absolutely amazing game, but we will see. Shem talking 6-pointers in August. Yeah, look, it's what we do. I'm just saying, because they've had a difficult start. If you don't start getting something from these next 2 games, as I said, the next run of games are Woodbridge, Norwich United, Kirkley, and Hadley. things suddenly start to look very, very difficult. And if you don't start getting points on the board already, questions will be asked, you will be in trouble, and then you are playing catch up, and nobody wants to be playing catch up at any point. So I'm not saying they're 6 pointers. I'm just saying they need to start collecting some points to build up the confidence levels. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I know if you agree with Shem on that point, but like I said, you just need to start building up some points from somewhere. That's what it's all about. It will be edgy. Both teams need the win, says Adam. Yeah, again, it's going to go one of two ways. It really is going to go one of two ways on that way. So we had the results. The midweek fixtures. There are 3. Yeah, Dave, need points on the board for confidence. Look at Sheffield United last season. It's a very good point, mate. Very good point. So yeah, 3 midweek games that are taking place. We've got 2 on Tuesday, and then we have 1 on Wednesday night. So we've got Marchtown versus Mildenhall, and we've got Swaffham versus Wroxham. Swaffham, good luck. The way Wroxham have been playing, you might need a little bit of luck. That's all I am going to say on that one. But yeah, so that's the Tuesday games. And then we see Haverhill Rovers versus Newmarket on the Wednesday night. So if you're looking for some action in the Furlough None, the 3 games in the Prem taking place this mid-weekend. And then we have 4 games taking place. Again, due to the FA Cup ties, it's very limited from the Prem side of things what games you can go to, but there are 4 if you want to take any action in this Saturday. It's Ely versus Haverhill Rovers, Galston versus Swaffham. So, Jesus Christ, Swaffham have got Wroxham and then Galston. Bloody hell. Yeah, good luck, lads. Lakenheath versus Wroxham, and you also got Marchtown versus Long Melford. Neither team so far in that last game have picked up a point. Both teams will be desperate for a win in that one just to kickstart their season. Not a 6-pointer. Calm down, comment section. Calm down. So yeah, 4 big games, 4 massive games. Ones that, I mean, let's be honest. If you look at the results that we had, that we were talking about earlier on, some of you wouldn't have called any of those results. So what goes on this Saturday is not a foregone conclusion. Before I do move on from the Furlough None Prem, I do have the goal from the Newmarket game to show you in their game against Woodbridge. Thanks to the guys over at Woodpecker TV. Again, for those of you who don't subscribe to non-league channels over on YouTube, YouTube's the place to be. That's just it. The be all and end all. YouTube is the place to be. Go over to Woodpecker TV. They're on 191 subscribers. Go over there. Subscribe to their channel like I do already. Hit their like button and then watch their footage from their game. I will just show the goal from this one. Here we go. So header out. Collected up here. Comes back into play. Shot. Not well dealt with. Hit into the bottom left-hand corner. Defending is a little bit suspect. Clearance not being made there, but yeah, there's the footage. As I said, just go and give them go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get them up to 200. They're on 191. Let's go and make sure, you know. Let's get them up to 200. Go over there and subscribe to the channel. Dave, March, Swaffham and Haverhill on a treble is 10,000 to 1. Wisbeach on a single. Jesus Christ, Adam, you really don't do yourself any favours. They do 12 pointers. Adam, me and you need to go to a Wisbeach game. Yeah, I bet you would, mate. I bet you would. Right, Furlough None North time. Let's look at some of the results from midweek. So we had Debenham losing 2-0 to Holston Town. Distown 1, UEA 2. Parsons Drove beat Wisbeach 2-0 in the bottom of the table. Neither team had collected a point before kickoff game at the bottom of the table. Framlingham 0, Leyton Reserves 2. Whittlesea Athletic losing 4-1 to Downham. So very, very impressive win for Downham Town there. The troubles for Debenham just continue. I know it's against a good Holston team, but a lot of you commenting last week saying that you were worried for Debenham moving into this season. Again, need to start collecting us some points. The UEA game, we covered it on the Non-League Now show. Dis were winning 1-0 thanks to a very dubious penalty award, but UEA in the end won 2-1. They came back from being 1-0 down, and by all accounts, probably actually deserved the result. They played very, very well. But yeah, well done to UEA for collecting their first points of the season. Saturday's action, again, another defeat for Debenham. They lost this time 3-0 at home against Great Yarmouth Town. FC Parsons Drove lost 2-0 to Framlingham. Harleston beat Peterborough North End 3-0 at home. Leiston Reserves losing 2-0 to Huntingdon Town. Needham Market Reserves losing 3-1 to Sheringham. Norwich CBS and Downham playing out a 2-2 draw. Whittlesea Athletic beating Distown by 3-0, and the UEA collecting another win, this time away from home against Wisbech St Mary by 4-1. Stephen, Wisbech wouldn't be bottom of Div 1 South. Jesus. Yeah, Dan, good to see Joel Windsor involved with Debenham working with Guy. Yeah, I said I really hope they start to turn things around. I think it might take a little bit of time this year, but I mean, let's be honest, with the teams that they are in the Furlough None North, it's a bit of a free hit this year. Just go and see what you guys can do, and let's just start getting some points on the board. But what do you make of the results from the Furlough None North? What is your standout performance, standout result? It's difficult. The Downham and Norwich CBS 2-2 draw, I think, is a good point for both sides. I think Downham will be happy going away to Norwich and getting a point. From Norwich's perspective, Downham are a very good team at this level. Huntingdon, just they've proven to be quite a good team at this level of football. Winning against Leiston Reserves, who have started off the season quite well. Harleston looked very, very impressive on paper against Peterborough North End. I think that 3-0 result is a very, very good scoreline there. And then we have midweek action. No midweek action, rather, from the Furlough None North. So it's just the games that are taking place on Saturday. We've got Distown versus Needham Market Reserves. FC Parsons Drove versus Debenham. Both teams have won 1 game apiece and lost 3 games each there. Framlingham versus Whittlesea Athletic. Holston versus Wisbech St Mary. Huntingdon versus Norwich CBS. Peterborough North End versus Great Yarmouth. And UEA versus Leiston Reserves. Standout game from that one. Christ. I reckon maybe Huntingdon versus Norwich CBS. I'd probably say that would be my standout game from those fixtures. Let me know again in the comment section. When Debenham lose to Yarmouth, I'm a bit worried. Yeah, I knew you would. I knew you'd be concerned about that one because you're not overly impressed with Yarmouth so far this season, or over the past few seasons, etc. So I know you'd be particularly worried about that result. James Redman has put a couple of bad results for this in there. Trimley, good to see our friends at Framlingham are doing well. Wisbech was the standout. Don't expect them to score. Yeah, that could literally be anything against Holston. Sorry to say, Wisbech fan. On paper, that game could be anything. Holston has started off the season incredibly well, haven't they? Dave, Holston versus Wisbech will be a mauling. Doesn't get any easier, says Adam for Wisbech. Dan, oh dear. UEA versus Leiston. Yeah, that could be a great game. I think UEA are a team I want to go and see at some point this year, just to kind of see what they're all about. People have spoken quite highly of them as a team, so that would be very interesting. Leiston Reserves, look, I know I said I was worried about them, but what do I have to be worried about? They're a good team at this level. They've got some very, very good players in amongst that whole collective unit, etc. But yeah, that game could be very, very good. Fergus, UEA have a decent gaffer. Leiston were going well until this weekend. Helston to get double figures potentially. The Debenham game looks interesting. They're both on the same results stat wise. Yeah, Parsons drove. That's an interesting one. I think Debenham will be looking at this one thinking they should win that. But again, Parsons drove will be thinking exactly the same about Debenham. So we shall see. We shall see. Furlong on South time. A few results coming through from midweek. We had Sudbury Reserves winning 3-1 rather against Haverhill Borough. Wivenhoe 2-0 against Cornard. Hackney Wick versus Harwich and Parkston 1-1. Holland 1. Burnham Ramblers 3. Weekend's action. We had the Friday night game, which was Haverhill Borough 0, May and Baker 2. And then Saturday's action. We had Benfleet 3, Cornard 0, Buckhurst 5, Wivenhoe 0, Burnham Ramblers 3, AFC Sudbury Reserves 2, Coggeshall 2, Frentford 1, Hackney Wick 0, Barkingside 1, Harwich and Parkston 0, Wormley Rovers 0, Holland 1, Brimsdown 0, Ipswich Wanderers 4-0 at home against Newbury Forest, Parkview 4, Halstead Town 2. I was quite shocked about the Halstead game. Obviously, I've spoken to Spencer, who covers the league quite religiously. He was actually on the non-league now first week show talking about Halstead Town. Was quite impressed with them. So yeah, I was quite shocked by that scoreline. I don't know a massive amount about Parkview, but again, as the season progresses, we'll start to get used to some of these clubs and what they're about, etc. But that result did seem like a bit of a shock. Good to see Ipswich actually playing a game. Like, result aside, it's actually nice to see Ipswich playing a game because for those of you who don't know, they have had another postponement for, I believe it's this midweek, their midweek game, which I think I've got on my next graphic there. Another postponement. So Ipswich have only played 2 games this season, which is really, really disappointing. But, you know, look, I don't know. It's difficult to speculate. But all you have to do is just go onto Twitter and just see the reaction to the fact that their game's called off to see what people think about it. Sorry, taking another sip of my water. I really do apologise. I'm just really not feeling well. May and Baker looked like a decent side on Friday night. I had a feeling you would probably be at that game, to be honest with you. Go on the Wanderers, says Dan. Dave, I feel sorry for Ipswich having another game called off this week. Tough for them to even get going. Yeah, it really, really is. Match day, Ipswich Wanderers' new goal gifts are getting an outing. Stephen, different week, same shit. Adam, Ramblers are walking the league so far. Hannah Parnell, Matchday Marketing, smashing it with the Wanderers' goal gifts. Yeah, they really, really are. Hackney not lighting up the league. Certainly seem to be on the pathway to success. Brilliant. So yeah, they are the results from this weekend. Midweek action, as we say, the Ipswich Wanderers game against Holland has been postponed. But we do have 4 other games taking place. They are a bit all over the place this week. We've got a game taking place tonight, which is Barkingside versus Frentford. Ipswich were due to be playing tomorrow, but Wormley Rovers and Parkview are playing tomorrow. And then Benfleet versus Coggeshall and May and Baker versus Newbury Forest. Both of those games take place on the Wednesday night. So if you are in that area, you have got games taking place over the next few days. So if you're looking for some local football to go watch and you haven't checked out the Furlong None South in a while, there's plenty of games to be getting yourself around to. So yeah, game tomorrow night, 2 games taking place on the Wednesday. Make sure you go and check out some of those games. Saturday-wise, a full fixture list available. Hopefully, Ipswich will be able to play this weekend. But we've got Sudbury Reserves versus Benfleet, Brimsdown versus Coggeshall, Cornard versus Parkview, Frentford versus Haverhill Borough, Hackney Wick versus Ipswich Wanderers, Halstead versus Wormley, May and Baker versus Harwich and Parkston, Newbury versus Burnham Ramblers, and Wivenhoe versus Barkingside. Yeah, Burnham Ramblers, look at that. 4 wins from 5. And going to a team, Newbury Forest, who have lost all 3 of their games to start off the season. Where are my draw specialists? Harwich, there you go. Third fixture down against May and Baker. I'm predicting another draw from that game. So it's 5 draws out of 5. Why the hell not? Cornard at home will be wanting to get a win. Only 1 point from the first 5 games. I do worry about them. But yeah, a lot of good fixtures taking place this weekend. As I said, I just hope from an Ipswich Wanderers perspective that they are able to play a game of football. Dan, does Stephen have a GIF? He's in a couple. Love that. Absolutely love that. Does he have one picking up the remainder of Blake's money from the previous GIF? Yeah, that would be brilliant. Haverhill Borough to bag 3 points this weekend. Who have Haverhill got? Oh, yeah, against Brentford. Yeah, again, both teams not really started off the season amazingly well. They'll both be wanting to get a win. At this rate, he will have one for giving opposition COVID test. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant, Adam. I love that. Right. That is enough of the furlough none. Let's move on into the SIL. Starting off with the senior. Now, some of these results are mental. And what I think is brilliant is that we do have some mid-week games coming up in the SIL. I will be making my way over to one of them. So let's start off. Adam, match postponed. Stephen swabs the Kitman's nose gift. Brilliant. We had Bilderston versus Ransom Sports. That game was postponed due to a COVID outbreak, and Bilderston's midweek game actually is also postponed as a result. I know the reserve games were called off as well. It does appear as if it has affected a lot of people in their squad, which is a shame because I know that they would have wanted to make sure that they didn't. They would have wanted to bounce back from an opening day defeat. So that game was postponed. We had Claydon 2, East Burgolt United 2, Halesworth 1, Benall St Mary 0, Hawley United 6, Capel Plough 0, Old Newton 0, Henley 7. Wow, what an unbelievable result! Really, really is. Trimley 7, Copplestone 0, and Westerfield 0, Achilles 2. There was a quote, and I think it was from Macca, Old Newton manager, talking about this game, and he just put, "Well done to Henley, you taught us a lesson today," which I thought was a nice touch, because some people go on the quite defensive mode when it comes to Twitter. Really just open appreciation of how well Henley did that weekend. That's a 7-0 away from home is fantastic. But against Old Newton, who are a very, very good side, that's an impressive win. We do have one of the goals to show you from the games of Trimley will be releasing their highlights of the game over on their YouTube channel. Again, make sure you go and subscribe to them. But I have been sent one of the goals from Alex Bredman in their win against Copplestone. So if I just remove the graphic from the screen here, I can show you that goal. Here we go.
Yes, go on! Get in there, Ricardo! Oh, fuck you!
Little bit of uncertainty there defensive wise, but yeah, you have to say great finish into the top corner of the net. Brilliant goal. But yes, I said some brilliant results from this. From this weekend. Oh, bloody hell. What was your standout performance? 6-0 for Hawley, 7-0 for Henley, 7-0 for Trimley. Any other results that are standing out for you? Let me know in the comment section right here and now. Dan, I'll see you at the Blue Circle. That's a close fixture for you on Wednesday. Dan, 2 7-0 wins for Henley. Yeah, they are looking really strong. Barcelona calling Henley for a Messi replacement. Naka really shows some class. Yeah, like I said, it's just a nice touch. you don't always have to say that kind of thing, but to just be open and just say, look, you were the better team. I just think that's a good touch. Yeah, a good. I love going to Old Newton. They are one of my favourite clubs to go and visit. The missus loves it because she knows everybody there. Just because. So yeah, we do like going to Old Newton. I will be doing that or covering them at some point this season. Tony, 6-minute hat trick from Bruce this week, as opposed to his hat trick in 11 minutes the previous week. 6 minutes to get a hat trick is incredible. Great win for Trimley. Looks like Achilles may have turned that ship around. Yeah, good win for them. Very, very good win. And they've started off the season with 2 wins from 2, which is it's the perfect start. It's the perfect start to the season. Could have been an excuse for people maybe to down tools a little bit when management changed right before the season has started, but they've been good. Predators from outside the box, unheard of. No, I said it's a good finish. Really, really good finish into the top corner. He should be proud of that strike. Really, really should do. But yeah, so some big results in there. Bennell losing. Again, that means 2 defeats out of 2 for them. But Halesworth are a very, very good side. And they've started off their season with 2 wins from 2. Trimley, you've catched some quality goals just lately. Yeah, again, they have the VO available. They're able to capture some of their goals, and that's sometimes all it takes. But yeah, absolutely love it. Make sure you go and check out their YouTube channel. Go and go and subscribe to them right now. Bruce scored a header, only his third header in 174. Bloody hell. So yeah, midweek action. We've got games taking place on Wednesday night in the SIL. Very, very important to say that all of these games are 6:30 kickoffs. I cannot stress that highly enough. 6:30 kickoffs if you want to get to any of these games this week. I will be going to one of them. As I said, I'll be announcing it very, very shortly. Probably over the next 24 hours, I'll be announcing where I'm going to. But as we said earlier, the Bilderson Rangers game is postponed against East Burgold. So that is the only game that doesn't take place. But if you are looking for some midweek action, you've got Claydon versus Achilles, Hawley versus Copplestonians, Henley versus Halesworth, Leiston versus Bennell, Old Newton versus Capel Plough, Ransoms versus Ipswich Vale Exiles, and Trimley versus Westerfield United. If you were me, where would you go to? What is your game of choice for midweek? Let me know in the comment section right now. Doesn't necessarily mean I would be going to it, but let me know, where would you be going if you had as much free time and you could get to a game as possible? Which one is the standout one for you? Shame not all by us. Credit to Evan Screamer from last week. Yeah, the Henley versus Halesworth game looks a belter. Really, really does. And the Ransoms obviously haven't started their season just yet, but them versus Ipswich Vale could be a very, very good game. Ransoms versus IVE will be very interesting, says Shem. It will be a test style game, says Tony. Tempted by the Hawley game, says James Redman. Certainly will be, especially after last week's results. We'll be doing a rare SIL game Wednesday night. Dan, let us know where you're going. Dan has just said Henley game. I think you should go to Leicester St Margaret. If I could get there, because that is a local derby, Leiston versus Bennell. You joke about it, but that could be a very feisty game. If I could get there, if that was a Saturday game, I'd be all over that. 100% would be all over that. But yeah, that could be if you're in the area, you might want to get yourself down to it. There's a choice. Match day, Henley versus Halesworth has got 0-0 written all over it. I see if it's 0-0, mate. If it's 0-0, oh no, I'm not going to make a bet. No, Adam will kill me. Glenn, bar is open at Sidegate Lane. Stephen says Ransoms versus IVE. There's some good games in this one. There's some good games on Wednesday night. Get yourself down to it. Looking forward to Claydon game. Need to be better than they were on Saturday. Was relieved when the equaliser went in. I feel for Halesworth feel for Halesworth travelling for a 6:30 kickoff. Yeah, it's quite a big travel for those guys. Bar is always open at Henley as well, says Tony on there. So then the midweek action, and then we have Saturday's fixtures, which are Benall versus Achilles, Capel Plough versus Bilderston. We've got Cops versus Claydon, Halesworth versus Old Newton, Henley versus East Burgoll, Ipswich Vale Exiles versus Trimley, Leyton St Margaret's versus Hawley, and Westerfield versus Ransom. Some very, very big games coming up on Saturday as well. But as I said, this week and next week, we've got midweek action in the SIL. So plenty of football in the local area to look forward to. Div 1 now, results time. We have got Bacton losing 3-0 to Sporting 87. A lot of people, according to Bacton's Twitter feed, were missing from this game. They didn't have their full strength of full strength side available. Had a lot of people coming in from different squads, etc. But Sporting, from what we've read, were very clinical in this game and ended up winning 3-0 away from home. Grunsborough beating Stowe Falcons 3-0. Very, very impressive result for Grunsborough. Stowe Falcons obviously had a very, very good end to their season last year. So yeah, great result for them. Stanton 5, Tattingstone 3. It's difficult. Let me just see if I can try and give you some context about what happened in this game, because it was mental. Maybe Fergus can give us a bit of context on here. So let me just see if I can go back through their Twitter feed. Right, here we go. Let me get Tattingstone's Twitter feed up as well, because they did some updates during the course of the game as well. This is mental. Right. Sorry, just scrolling through to try and find it. Right, here we go. So Tattingstone went 1-0 up. Then Stanton went down to 10 men in the 29th minute. So, right, 30 minutes on the clock. You've still got 60 minutes to play. Stanton are down to 10 men and they're 1-0 down. 42nd minute, it's 1-1. At half-time, that's 1-1. Second half underway. 2-1 to Tattingstone. Then 2-2. Then 3-2 to Tattingstone. And then 63rd minute, the goals go mental for Stanton. They go to 3-3. Then it goes to 4-3 in the 82nd minute. And in the 86th minute, Stanton go on to win the game 5-3. Absolutely incredible. Really, really is incredible. Adam, well done, Stanton. A very enjoyable game, says Fergus. Amazing achievement to win that, says Adam. Carl Tarpley with a perfect hat trick, says AD. Fergus down to 10 men after 15 minutes. Yeah, it sounds like an absolutely mental game of football. Really, really does. But it's impressive to win against Tattingstone at the best of times, because they're a very good side at this level of football. But to win when you are 1-0 down and down to 10 men is definitely a hats off, great performance. Probably, arguably, you have to say one of the performances of the week, without a shadow of a doubt. Then you had when Hastings, Jesus Christ, my mind just went blank there. 0, Southwell 3. I will get it right one of these days. Southwell winning 3-0 away from home. And then Wickham Market 1-1 against Bramford Road Old Boys. Look, it has to be Stanton versus Tattingstone as the game of the day in this division. It has to be. There should be no question about it. Fergus, a really end-to-end game. Tony, great result for Stanton. James Redmond, what a game and what a result. Dan Stanton have a great team. I watched them play against Claydon and they fought to the very end. Fergus, we nearly took him off before his hay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely performance of the week from my perspective. This coming weekend, we've got Bromford Road Old Boys versus Stowe Falcons. Grunsborough versus Southwold, Stanton versus Kesgrave, Wen Hastings versus Bacton, and Wickham versus Tattingstone. What would be fixture of the week in that one? There's some good games in there. I want to see how both Wickham and Tattingstone respond to their opening games, because I think they'll both be disappointed with their results. Southwold versus Grunsborough could be a very good game. Kesgrave, Kesgrave will wanted to start off their campaign because obviously they didn't play due to Condon dropping out. Be very interesting to see how they get on against Stanton. Look, there's some good games in this level of football. Just go along if you haven't got it. If you want to see free football, you're looking for some goals. Div 1 definitely is your choice of games. Dan says Wickham versus Tattingstone. Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that one. Div 2, result-wise, it's Elmswell 1, Wolverstone 2, Ipswich 3, Saxmundham 4, Curtin 1, Cockfield 5, Somersham 4, Witnesham Wasp 0, Stonham 0, Melton 5, Ufford 6, Thurston 4. Look at those results. Unbelievable. 7 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, 5, 10 goals in some of these games. Absolutely incredible performances and results. I don't even know what to say as a standout performance. What's the standout performance from that? Again, let me know down in the comment section, what do you think is a standout performance? Because I think there's some brilliant results in there. Fixture-wise, we've got Curtin versus Saxmundham, Ipswich versus Witnesham Wasps, Somersham versus Wolverstone, Thurston versus Stonham, and Ufford versus Elmswell. Somersham versus Wolverstone looks like it could be a very entertaining game. I want to keep an eye on Somersham. I really do think that they might go quite well this season. I just want to see how they do over the next few games. It'll be very, very interesting to see. Wolverstone, again, know a few of the boys from their team, so good luck to them throughout the course of the season. Ufford or Wolfson says Ben. Stonham done me for both teams to score. Wolfstone says Shem on there. Heard Sachs had a lot of WGS this week trying to get the game ahead, as there's been a lot of trouble on signing players. That's very interesting. But yeah, I think as they posted out on Twitter, they're just grateful that a game was able to take place this weekend. So yeah, they done well to win that game. Then they had Div 3 time. Some, again, brilliant scorelines coming in from this division. AFC Wanderers 4, Needham Market Phoenix 1. The Bardwell versus Leiston game was postponed. Great Blakenham Checkers 8, Unity 1. What a win for those guys over at Great Blakenham. Hope Church 5, Aldborough 1. Brilliant result. I think a lot of people in the previous show had Aldborough to do quite well this season. But for Hope Church, that's a very impressive win. That's a very, very good home win. Laxfield 2, Kesgrave Kestrels 1, and Stage and Ockhold playing out a 3-3 draw. Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant result there. Brilliant game of football, rather. Then we have fixtures coming up this weekend. It's Aldborough versus AFC Wanderers, Bromford United versus Ockhold, Leiston Youth versus Hope Church, Needham Market Phoenix versus Great Blakenham, Stage versus Kesgate Kestrels, rather, and Unity versus Laxfield. Just before we do the Super Six, I was told this weekend to give the guys over at AFC Wanderers a shout out for this kit. It's a Hummel design. I think it's there you go. Thurston, surely worth 5 minutes on this week's show to appreciate that. I think that's a brilliant kit. I think that's absolutely superb. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts. I think that's a brilliant kit. Love the badge. Love the kit. The design of it is very, very impressive. I thought it was just worth giving those guys a bit of a shout out there. So there are the results from this weekend. To wrap things up on today's show, we've got the Super Six, which for some reason I haven't actually got the graphic here. Let me just try and find it. Where is it? Where is the Super Six? This is terrible organisation from me. Let's load up the Super Six for this week, and I will get the link for the survey to go into the chat right now. So here are the games that are taking place And these are the ones that we have picked. So, survey going into the chat right now. We'll post, as we always do, reminders across social media. Make sure you get your entries in to this week's Super Six. We've got Fakenham versus Bury, Norwich United versus Newmarket. So 2 FA Cup games in this week's Super Six. Galston versus Swaffham. Halston versus Wisbech St Mary. I had to include that because I knew you guys would love it. Ipswich Vale Exiles versus Trimley, and Wickham Market versus Tattingstone. So there are what you would say 3 games which will be very difficult for you to pick and very difficult for you to guess, and 3 games which on paper you would think you would know the result, and it's just a case of by how many. But weirder things have happened in the Super Six, as Adam will quite roundly vouch for. So yeah, get your Super Six predictions in. We will be doing a league table very, very shortly. Adam is actually away next week as well. He's staying away for quite some time. But we will be doing a Super Six table, and league tables we'll actually be doing league tables for every single division at the end of August. So I'm going to wait till the end of August before I do league tables for the actual leagues as well as the Super Six. So just to let everybody know. So yeah, get your Super Six is in to the get your predictions in rather. That would be very, very much appreciated. Right, we've got a few comments flying in here, and I will give this game a shout out. And Shem has quite rightly said, Joe Langfield memorial match at that's Woodbridge Town, isn't it? This Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Proceeds are going to charity again. Get yourself down to Woodbridge on Sunday if you can at all. If anybody's got the link for the charity that is going towards, if there is something that we can maybe post on social media, DM me after the show, and I'll get that put across my social medias throughout the week. But yeah, 3 p.m. this Sunday. Get yourself down to Woodbridge if you are in the area. Horrible, very, very sad circumstances there. But yeah, if we can try and raise a little bit of money, that'll be, I'm sure it will mean a lot to a lot of people. And you guys are absolutely pouring in with the love and support in the chat, which is great to see. Like I said, if you can, get yourself down to Woodbridge this weekend. All right. No worries, Shem. Really appreciate it, mate. I said I'll put something across the social medias. Throughout the week. All right. But yeah, that's where we're going to round things up for tonight's show, guys. Thanks everyone for joining me. It's really, really appreciated. It's been a bit of a horrible show. You can probably see from my eyesight here. I'm feeling unbelievably run down. So yeah, I'm glad I made it. I honestly, literally about 25 past 8, I was like, oh God, why the hell did I do this? But I'm so glad I did. Thanks to everyone who has joined in with tonight's show. Really, really does mean an awful lot. If you are going to Needham tomorrow, I will see you all there. Really, really thank you. So I've got Needham on Tuesday. I'll be announcing my SIL game probably tomorrow, I would have thought. I need to do some research. To be honest, it all depends on, because I've got the car, but it needs to go in for a bit of a check on Wednesday morning, apparently. So I don't know what time I'm able to come and collect it. That then factors on where I'm going. So I will find out probably on the morning of the Wednesday, but I honestly don't know. Cheers, Dan. James, well done on getting through the end of the show. Look after yourself. Cheers, mate. James, great show. Yeah, honestly, I'm now going to bed. Really am. Well done. Thanks. So, cheers, guys. I really appreciate the love. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care of yourselves wherever you're going this week. If you've got any golf footage, send it in to me. We'll get it uploaded for next week's show. Really appreciate everybody in the chat. Remember, give the video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to help support the show, merchandise, Patreon, Ko-fi, all the links in the description below. You guys know what to do by now. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Adios.